Hi, hi Pisces. This reading is called When Survival Becomes the Structure. Okay, so you have the Page of Wands in reverse, the Three of Pentacles, the Devil, the Ace of Wands in reverse, the Princess of Cups, and the Four of Wands right here. And the first thing that caught me is that you have fire on both ends of this reading right here, right? The Page of Wands reverse is on one side, the Ace of Wands reverse on the other side. The Page is like the Ace and the Court cards, and the Ace of Wands is, of course, the Ace of Wands. Okay? So the fire is there, the potential is there, the desire is there, but it's not moving cleanly. And I don't think this is about somebody who has no spark left. I think it's about somebody who has become so responsible for holding everything together that the spark has nowhere to go. The Page of Wands is normally curious, adventurous, willing to try something just to see where it leads. But reverse, that energy can become hesitant, discouraged, disconnected. You may still have ideas. You may still want things. You may still feel the possibility of something new, but the energy keeps getting interrupted. You think about starting something and then remember everything you already have to carry. You get excited about a possibility and then immediately start calculating the cost. You feel a spark, and then the practical part of you says, yeah, but who's going to manage everything else? And then you have the Three of Pentacles. For me, this is a card of support. Collaboration, different people bringing different strengths, guidance, structure. But then the Devil came out right over it. And this is where the reading gets interesting, because I think something has become distorted around support. Maybe you learned that people are unreliable. Maybe asking for help has disappointed you before. Maybe you've had to explain yourself so many times that eventually you decided it was easier to do everything yourself. Maybe you've been praised for being capable. Maybe everybody sees you as the strong one, the one who figures it out, the one who handles it, the one who does not need much. And after a while, self-reliance stops being a strength you use and becomes a rule you're no longer allowed to break. That's when survival becomes structure. You build your whole life around the assumption that you have to carry it. You become the organizer, the fixer, the planner, the person who notices what everyone else needs, the person who fills the gaps, the person who remembers, the person who gets it done. And because you're good at it, people may not even realize how much you're carrying. Sometimes you may not even realize it either, until the Page of Wands reverses and the Ace of Wands reverses, until you start wondering why you're so tired, why nothing feels exciting, why you have ideas but no energy for them, why you want something new but every new thing feels like another responsibility. I don't think your fire's gone. I think your fire's been assigned to maintenance. Every bit of energy has become responsible for keeping the structure standing. Then you have the Princess of Cups. For me, this is the dreamer, the imaginative part of you, the tender part, the part that still believes life can be beautiful, the part that wants something more than survival. It wants connection, creativity, softness, meaning, joy, something that makes you feel alive again. And then you have the Four of Wands. Now I have to say this Four of Wands does not look like any Four of Wands I have ever seen in my life. I actually have to go through the deck because I thought I had the wrong card. But it is the Four of Wands. And I think the message here is perfect. A dream does not need another guard. Okay? It needs a home. It needs somewhere stable to live. Somewhere that can hold it. The Four of Wands is structure, but it's structure that supports joy. It's foundation, community, celebration, belonging. Something solid enough that you can actually relax inside it. And that's different from the structure of survival. Survival structure says I hold everything up. Four of Wands structure says this holds me too. That may be the whole turning point of this reading. You may have become so accustomed to being the support system that you forgot the support system was supposed to support you. You may have built an incredibly strong life, but is there anywhere inside that life where you can soften? Is there room for the dreamer? For curiosity? Is there room for pleasure? For fun? Is there room for somebody else to contribute? Room for help that actually reduces the load? Because the Three of Pentacles is still here. Support is still part of the story. Collaboration is still part of the story. You're never necessarily meant to build everything alone. But the Devil over that Three of Pentacles suggests there may be a belief you have to look at. Maybe it is, if I need help, am I weak? If I let go, everything will fall apart. Nobody will do it properly. I can't trust anybody else with this. It's just easier if I handle it myself. And maybe those beliefs came from somewhere real. Maybe there was a time when you actually had to rely on yourself. Maybe people did let you down. Maybe you learned the hard way that depending on the wrong people can cost. But survival strategies can outlive the emergency that created them. And when you keep living inside a structure designed for a crisis that's not happening anymore, you keep holding the walls up with your own hands because once upon a time you had to. But now you are exhausted. And the dreamer is standing there going, can I have some room too? The Princess of Cups wants to imagine again. The Four of Wands wants to create a foundation where imagination can actually survive. And that's why I think this reading is not telling you to become less capable. It's asking you to build a life where capability is not the only thing holding everything together. Where support is built in, where rest is built in, where nourishment is built in, where joy is built in, where there's enough structure that you don't have to be in survival mode all the time. Because the Ace of Wands reverse may not mean there's no new beginning available. It may mean there's no capacity available. Those are different things. You can have all the inspiration in the world, but if every part of your energy is already allocated to keeping life functioning, there's nowhere for the spark to land. And maybe that's a question here. What would happen if you stopped waiting until you were completely exhausted before admitting you needed support? What would happen if help became part of the plan instead of the emergency response? What would happen if the structure of your life was designed to hold you too? Because the dream is still here. The Princess of Cups says that. The fire is still here. Both Wands cards say that. The ability to build something is still here. The Three of Pentacles and Four of Wands say that. But the architecture has to change. You became very good at surviving. Maybe now the next chapter is learning how to live, learning how to receive, learning how to let other people's systems, tools, structures, or forms of support carry actual weight for you. You don't have to collapse before you qualify for help. You don't have to let the fire go out before you admit the structure's too heavy. You don't have to keep proving how much you can carry. The life you built should be strong enough to hold you too. Because your dream doesn't need another guard. It needs a home. Thank you so much for being here, Pisces. Check out my other channel at Everything Pisces Tarot. I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now.